What up guys, Superman983 here bringing you another album review, and this time I've got some very tasty technical death metal for you to check out right now, and I'm going to be reviewing the debut album from Cognizance entitled Malignant Dominion. This is released under Prosthetic Records and is available now for you to check out. Now, if you're not too familiar with Cognizance, they are a 4-piece technical death metal band hailing from Leeds City, UK, and I first got introduced to this band quite a while back, in all honesty, with their debut EP Inquisition and their second EP, which is self-titled, and I was really impressed with those releases because it was a very tasteful style of melodic death metal. It wasn't all wankery and all that. It was just very tasteful but had some melodies in it, and I really enjoyed what I was seeing, and that's when I first started listening to the band. And then the band brought out another EP entitled Inceptum, which is another short little EP. I mean, the first, the Cognizance and the Inceptum EP are only 2 tracks long, and the debut EP was only 4 tracks long, so very short releases, but they had a lot going for them, ask me, and it kept us, you know, interested in the band's sound, because I absolutely loved what they were putting forth. And then fast forward to 2016, we have another EP, which now has 5 tracks called Illusory? Yeah, I'm no good at pronunciation. But yeah, that EP is absolutely fantastic if you ask me. If you haven't heard it, make sure you do so. I definitely feel like that one is a more aggressive side to the band, but it is still very technical and has a lot of melody going for it. So it's very tasteful to listen to, if you ask me. And then fast forward again to 2017, and we get a new single from the band entitled The Foreboding Impasse. Now, this single I was absolutely blown away by, and I honestly couldn't wait for what was going to follow up, and honestly I predicted that it was going to be another EP, to be honest. But no, the band has signed to Prosthetic Records, and now we have a full-length album entitled Malignant Dominion, and I have been so excited for this, and I contacted the label to get a promo for this album to review on the channel. I know I'm a little bit late on this subject, but me camera decided to fuck up, so we're doing it today. But anyway, let's get on with this review. It's 8 tracks and runs around 30 minutes in length, and in my honest opinion, this was going to be one of the most look forward to debut albums of 2019, if you ask me. I've been waiting for some more material from these guys, especially in the form of a full-length album, because every EP that they've delivered has been absolutely exceptional tech death, and become... I always go back to when they bring out an EP or a single or whatever. I always go back through their discography and just been like, wow, this is absolutely fucking amazing stuff. And it's just mind-numbing to hear. It's absolutely fantastic. So I was really excited to get this album and just check it out and see if Cognizance can pull off an album that is going to be almighty and just tech death wonders, shall we just say. And shall we say, have they done it? I think they have indeed. I think this album is absolutely fantastic and definitely one of the best technical releases that I have heard so far in 2019. And we've had some absolutely outstanding releases in the tech death community. I haven't listened to an awful lot of it, but this one is probably my favourite when it comes down to it, because I love the tastefulness of this band's sound, because it's not overly technical, it's not wankery. In my opinion, it puts us a little bit in mind of like a brainchild between Necrophagist and the Black Dahlia murder, for example. It's got that bit of relentlessness and a lot of attack going for it that you have with the likes of the Black Dahlia murder, especially with the technical drum aspect being brought forth by David Diepold, who is a very well-renowned tech death drummer, and his drum beats are really technical but very intricate sound, and they fit the technical guitar playthrough of Alex Bailey here, and honestly, it sounds truly magnificent and wonderful, and it is very tasteful to the ears, like Necrophagist is. I mean, like, Epitaph is one of my all-time favourite tech death albums, and it really puts us in mind of that, and really makes us think to when I first discovered the catchiness of it, because this has a lot of catchiness to it, if you ask me, and that's one thing that I feel like a lot of tech death these days, yes, it's technical, but it doesn't need to be like 100 mile an hour, or sorry, not 100 mile an hour, 300 mile an hour, like a Bugatti Chiron, for example. You know, it doesn't need to be that. It just needs to be tasteful and well executed. And if it's technical, then so be it. It sounds fantastic, and this is a prime example of that on this album. But it's still another factor that I do love about this album is it's very riffy as well. I mean, there's a lot of catch and a lot of hooks here and there that really grab your attention and make you gravitate more towards this album, makes it just that much more enjoyable, if you ask me. Like, there's moments on here that you can really truly headbang to and get really into the grooves and intricate parts on here, but the musicianship is on another level, if you ask me. This has been a long time in the works, this album, and quite frankly, it has been worth the wait, if you ask me. And I think Cognizance delivered an absolute, truly magnificent tech death album that is definitely going to go down in history, if you ask me. And if it doesn't, then people are really fucking missing out, because this is absolutely fantastic, if you ask me. The production work on this album is absolutely fantastic as well. It sounds very clean, but it still has a bit of grit to it and a bit of bite to it. It's not overly should we just say overly distorted in the sound. It's just very clean, very crisp sound, and it sounds very joyful to the ears. The production, you can hear everything what's going on. Like the drum work, as I said, is very precise, but sounds so sharp and very puncturing, if you ask me. And I absolutely love David's drum work on this album. As I said, it's absolutely fantastic, if you ask me. The bass work is a very intricate part on this as well, but it's not overly technical. But the bass tone overall presents a very warm feeling in the when you're listening to it, because it's not clanky or anything. Like, you know, it doesn't give that. It just gives a really warm fuzzy feeling behind it. It's just really warm and comforting to listen to. Like, it's really accenting the guitars very well, because the guitar tone on here is crisp as day and clean as day, and it sounds really, really good. It makes the riffs accent all that more, but then the technical aspects, it just feels so much smoother when the higher as if like melodic metalcore sort of riffs, or fast melodic metalcore kind of riffs kick in, and it flows along with it. It just feels so natural, but it feels so nice. It's not overbearing in any way. It's not like get ear piercingly sharp. It's just very nice guitar tone, very, very well executed. And if I'm not mistaken, this album was produced by mixed and mastered by Jason Sukoff, who we know has been on so many classic metal releases, from extreme metal to even normal metal over the years. And honestly, he's done an absolutely fantastic job. Every bit of musicality and instrument here is sounding sharp, and just overall just accents each instrument beautifully. It complements it. The bass work, as I said, has that really nice warmness to it, but then the guitar has that real clarity to it, and then the drums just sound all natural and just beautiful, if you ask me. And I can't believe I'm actually seeing some of these more elegant words about a tech death album, because it's been a long time, in my opinion, that a tech death album is giving that feeling. I mean, I can't even remember the last time I've heard a tech death album that's given us that kind of sensation, you know. But this is definitely an album to behold. And then Henry Price's vocals was another thing that drew me to this overall band. I think his vocals, especially his lows, they just sound so monstrous and beefy, and it's just, but on this album they kind of feel like they are executed in the same sort of way, but they're not overly barren, if you ask me. Like, I'm not saying any of the other ones, but you would expect it to be overly barren, but to accent the with the music, it just sounds right, and doesn't sound like the vocals aren't just in your face, just pounding you into the, you know, into your ears. It's not. It's just really executing with a lot of power and just energy, and it just comes off just very enjoyable and fun to listen to. It's not overly barren in any way, but I absolutely love it. And then the higher vocals on this album, in particular on one of the songs that I remember that they did it, was a single that they released prior to this album. I think it came out before the Foreboding Impasse, was the song Either of the Void, which starts off with that really atmospheric black metal sort of high, and I really got the black metal sort of vibes on it. In fact, there's a few black metal elements on this album that really give it that overall atmosphere and just gives it a bit more variety, and I feel like that really executes this album a lot more with me, because it has a lot more variety than just a straight 300 mile an hour sweeps left, right and centre and stuff. But yeah, really good vocal performance on this album, and the lyrics are absolutely fantastic as well, but the flow so well. They're not overly top, like technical or anything like that. They just fit the music so well and so fine that it's very tasteful, if you ask me. Definitely a very tasteful album, I have to say. And then, yeah, the guitar lead work is another thing to behold on this album. I mean, overall, like, the riffs are very technical and very kind of lead orientated, if you ask me, the way it comes across. But when the lead guitar comes in with those beautiful melodies, it is just something that'll just take your breath away, if you ask me. It just feels so enjoyable to listen. I mean, this is definitely one of the most enjoyable death metal releases that I've heard all year round, and definitely one of the most fun one of the most fun metal releases in general that I've heard all year. It's such an enjoyable, fun album listening where you definitely need to hear it. But not only that, you get some really good guest spots on this album as well. You get on the Organic Citadel, you get Derek Rydquist. I'm not good at pronunciation, as you know. On the Organic Citadel, and he's obviously of the Faceless nowadays, and his vocal performance, I think it's vocals that he does on here, is absolutely fantastic, if you ask me. It's very signature, if you ask me. It definitely sets apart from Henry's vocals, if you ask me. And then one of the other things that I did when the album got announced, and they dropped the single, which one is it? Strychnine Shift, I believe it's Strychnine Shift, features Jonathan Davis of Serpent of Geonosis, but everyone also knows him from Job for a Cowboy. I was really, really impressed with that single, and I was really, really excited to hear this album in full. And then you also get Mendel, who's formerly of Aborted, also on that track, and that is an absolute mammoth of a song, if you ask me. This whole unit that comes off on that track, it's just something to behold, if you ask me, and it's definitely grew to become one of my favourite tracks on this album. And then you also get, which I'd have to say is probably my favourite track on this album, is the title track, Malignant Dominion, features Ollie, I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce that last name, of Extol, laying down some more cleaner vocals on this album, but that really accents the album a lot more, and I feel like you get a lot of aggression from this, and then when that comes in, you get some really tasteful, beautiful melodic singing that really sets the album apart and it takes your breath away, if you ask me. And then also on Either of the Void, you get a guitar solo from Jason Sukoff, laying down some tasty lead work on there, which sounds very, very good, if you ask me. And then on the final song, an existential battle. There we go. I'm shit at pronunciation. You get Ian, I can't pronounce that, of Aborted, laying down some tasty, tasty lead work as well. And honestly, this is an absolute beautiful, astonishing release, and definitely something you just need to hear in 2019. This is easily one of the best releases of 2019, and I've had so much hype for this release, and now that it's here, I can tell you this is definitely worth your time and attention. I definitely recommend it, as I said, if you're a fan of Necrophagist, the Faceless, or even the Black Dahlia Murder. This is definitely a release you need to check out. So yeah, make sure you check out the songs, The Organic Citadel, Malignant Dominion, Strychnine Shift, Either of the Void, and also Unforeseen Consequences. I definitely say those songs are definitely the strongest on this album, and the intro is pretty tasty with that riff that leads into the first song. It's just pretty fucking tasty. So if you want some riffy tech death, definitely check out Cognizance with their debut album Malignant Dominion. It's out on Prosthetic Records now. There'll be links down below where you can check it out. For an overall score though, I'm going to give this a solid 9 out of 10. absolutely amazing release, and just I want some more music from this. It's only half an hour and it delivers on all fronts, but now I want more from you guys. So anyways, I'll see you until next video. Remember, stay metal, and I'll see you later.